My name is Andrew Cohen. I just woke up in a white room with rubber beds, and the first thing I see is a note addressed to me in my own handwriting. The letter read, "Don't remember? Keep reading." But those were the only words on the note, so I did what any civilized human being would do, and I yelled at the top of my lungs. A pair of nurses came in. "What is it now, Mr. Blur?" I was taken aback. "Who's Mr. Blur?" I demanded. Just then, one of the nurses' eyes turned red while they said, "You are," in a very matter-of-fact kind of way. Welcome back to Bipolar Owl Bipolar Rights. This week's guest is Animorphs. They can turn into bugs, they can turn into anything. They're Animorphs. So, this is my 10th episode. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit special. I'm going to try and write Blur's psychosis, which will be no easy task considering I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I've had a psychosis before. It's not that. It's just like, how do you write someone else's? How do you write your own even? You know? Like, I can't do that. It's hard. Million miles going is your brain. You know what I'm saying? Alright, now that we got the Animorphs joke out of the way. Animorphs. Alright, so let's see here. I want to do, let's just write down what ideas I've got. Alright, so I'm thinking of something that Blur would have seen, or something in his visions that, you know, made him, that would make him freak out, right? End up in a mental hospital. And of course it has to be something true because he has true powers. And so I'm thinking maybe he sees someone's, I don't know, I do kind of want to stray away from the idea of death as like a serious thing, right? I want it to be somewhat light, but also, you know, I could also incorporate some deja vu into it if I really wanted to, because I did have chronic deja vu. I had deja vu for 1.5 years of my life. If I were to go that route, let's see. A long time of not talking makes this video pretty boring. So I guess I'll just sing this song while we all write along. Do 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 do. Can't think of any more lyrics. So there's that. I could probably incorporate that into it somehow. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a deja vu thing. It could even just be like being frustrated because something super weird is happening and everyone's just like, oh, calm down, it's no big deal. But obviously it is a big deal because it feels monstrous. It feels, you know, there I go talking my bipolar agenda again. But it's important. So let's see. What else is signs of psychosis? Believing you are Jesus. That's classic. How do you spell believing? Beliving. Believing. EI. That's belief. I'm just going to say thinking. That's what you do when you're a writer. Oh, and with that, Death could chime in and be like, oh, I got it. Death could sense the disturbance of Blur being like outside of the realm of fate, right? Because he's got precognition, so he can change things. And so Death will come in and be like, and he'll be all these different people, which will be confusing to Blur at first. And he'll be like, no, I've met Jesus. He was a nice guy, though. Something along the lines of, you're not Jesus. First of all, you're white. Okay, so I kind of want to do something along the lines of, second of all, you're running around in your underwear. Or something semi-embarrassing that's not so harsh. I don't want it to be like super bad, because that's the thing with bipolar disorder, is sometimes you do things and they're like something you would never do in a million years. And it just feels like you're not in control. And so if I were to say something like, second of all, you're running around in your underwear, that could be really offensive because of, you know, people that have done that unwillingly because of their disorder. You get me? So I'm thinking, second off, oh, yeah, second off, no. First of all, you're white. Second of all, needs a comma right there. Know what I'm saying? There we go. That's an idea. You've got a tattoo. What's a semi-embarrassing tattoo? We're not going to give Blur a celebrity tattoo. No, actually, that would be very funny. That would be very funny, wouldn't it? Okay. What celebrity, though? It has to be someone that he might actually enjoy. Ed Sheeran. Sorry, Ed Sheeran, for misspelling your name. I'm sure I did. Okay, so, and then now that I'm thinking of it, I really like the idea of, because he is bipolar. That's, thinking you're Jesus, that doesn't come from superpowers. That comes from being bipolar and being in a mania, which I know before on my channel I said mania is without delusions, but according to my psychologist, I was wrong. Apparently, mania, I was thinking of hypomania, which doesn't really fit the bill for me. I mean, I feel like there's something in between hypomania and mania, and they just don't have it down in the DSM yet. But yeah. What was I saying? You're not Jesus. First of all, you're white. Second of all, you've got a tattoo of Ed Sheeran on your bicep. That's Death saying this. In fact, I could probably just write that in at some point. Alright, so he's definitely having a mania. He's definitely thinking he's Jesus Christ. So I kind of took a break, and when I came back, I was like, not feeling it. What I ended up doing is hours later, I watched the footage, and then my mind started like brimming with ideas after like watching what I had written and everything like that. Basically, these are the ideas that are broiling through my mind. I kind of want to bring back the Animorphs in some way. I know it's stupid, like I made the dumb joke, but now I want it to be like a theme. Like there's some sort of character out there that is literally trapped as a bird, and he's a superhero because he can turn into big birds or something. I don't know. Or maybe he's just a kid trapped as a bird. Oh, that's actually really good. It's just a kid trapped as a bird. Okay. So that's how I'm going to bring back the Animorphs. So I'm going to have a character in Blur's like life, and he's a kid trapped as a bird. I can't remember if he can talk like a human in the Animorphs. I'm pretty sure he can, or maybe he can't. Oh, I should look that up before I go into that. But because I want it to be like canonly, not canonly, that kid that like, yeah, we've saved the world a few times and then I got trapped as a bird. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so in the Animorphs world, there's these like look-alike people that try and like take over people and like, and they're trying to kill the Animorphs. These guys. And so basically, what if that was a big threat in Blur's like phase 3? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's checking out his powers and everything like that, but maybe Death didn't tell him about this, or well, no, because he's seeing the future. I don't know. Either way, it's got some stuff to work out, but he saw himself save the world, but the only problem is that when he woke up, he's got like all these papers and writings and scribblings about like what he saw, but he can't remember a detail beyond those. And his only weakness, is after seeing everything at once. Well, after seeing himself save the world, I guess, his future, he could no longer see his future anymore, and he has to direct his sense. It's not like spider sense where at the first sign of danger you're warned. No, he's got to be like, okay, I'm going to predict what'll happen here. And then just he has to go with that. He has to go with what information he has. He has to do whatever he thinks best. So I think it's not really a weakness, but it's definitely a character trait. I don't know. But yeah, let's put this one on the back burner for now. I'm sure that'll come up eventually. Maybe in like Bipolar Rights number 50. We'll see. So I think I've got a pretty good idea of what I should be doing with this. And then my name is Andrew Cohen. I just woke up in a white room with rubber beds, and the first thing I see is a note addressed to me in my own handwriting. The letter read, "Don't remember, keep reading," but then the letter ended. But that was all I could read. But that was all that was there. But those were the only words on. Oh. Wow, we have been working on this a while between all the editing and the, writing and everything like that. This might be like a 30-minute long video, but it's taken me all day to do this. And I don't have much to show for it, but let's try and change that. So, my name is Andrew Cohen. I just woke up in a white room with rubber beds, and the first thing I see is a note addressed to me in my own handwriting. The letter read, "Don't remember? Keep reading." But those were the only words on the note, so I did what any civilized human being would do, and I yelled at the top of my lungs. A pair of nurses came in. "What is it now, Mr. Blur?" I was taken aback. "Who's Mr. Blur?" I demanded. Just then one of the nurses' eyes turned red they said, "You are," in a very matter-of-fact kind of way. Alright. Alright, so I think that's all I'm gonna do for today, because yeah, I feel like I worked on this a lot, and but I like where I'm going with this. I like what I've done. I'm pretty proud of some of the ideas that I came up with just from sitting here in front of a notebook. So just to do it one last time, we were talking about Blur's psychosis, and we were talking about how hard it is to be in a situation like that, because people are dismissive. And then we talked about how people with mental disorders think that they're Jesus a lot. And we came up with a phrase that Death could say, or anyone really could say, to someone, maybe Blur, if I want to keep him having the Ed Sheeran tattoo on his bicep. I don't know. This is my OC, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so where he would say, "You're not Jesus. First of all, you're white. Second of all, you've got a tattoo of Ed Sheeran on your bicep." And then we came up with this, which is the start of a story. And that story is still yet to be mostly told, but I think these are the building blocks of said story. And the words are, "My name is Andrew Cohen. I just woke up in a white room with rubber beds, and the first thing I see is a note addressed to me in my own handwriting. The letter read, 'Don't remember? Keep reading.' But those were the only words on the note, so I did what any civilized human being would do, and I yelled at the top of my lungs. A pair of nurses came in. 'What is it now, Mr. Blur?' I was taken aback. 'Who's Mr. Blur?' I demanded. Just then one of the nurses' eyes turned red while they said, 'You are,' in a very matter-of-fact kind of way. Alright, that was another successful episode of Bipolar Rights. I hope you enjoyed it, because I wanted to make this episode special because it is my 10th episode, And yeah, so I guess just let me know if you enjoyed it. Thank you.